So let me introduce all of you to my guest today. That is Manoj sir. He is the coach of the budding and young talented player in Maaya Rajeshwaran. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you feeling?
Pleasure to be.
Yeah, how are you feeling,
Thank you
sir?
so much.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. So to start with, let just take us through that particular tournament in that at 125 Mumbai Open, where Maya did exceedingly well and reached the semi-finals. If you can just say in a few words about her splendid performance.
Well, for fun, it was not part of a program to play it out. Actually, she was back here in India for a couple of weeks. She had to sort out her visa to live in Spain for a year, and she was awarded a white card in the qualifying of the event by MSLTA and in particular by Mr. Sundaraya. So that's how it started. And frankly, if you ask me, I didn't expect her to go do this well in the tournament because I felt that the level of the tournament was pretty good. A lot of players in the uh, 150 to 300 range. And it's a huge credit to her that she kind of believed in herself and that she could stay on court with all those experienced players and certainly beyond the expectations what she did.
Okay. Let us take a jog down the memory lane to the time when you first saw her or first met her. So, can you say a little bit about your first impression about this girl when you first met her or saw her game?
I think I met her. I think when she was 10. I think it was just around time of COVID that she first came to play. And she wasn't this well built at that point in time. She was much smaller. But what really struck me was her complete self belief in herself, her confidence in her abilities. And by nature, I think her tennis was very aggressive. That is what really stood out for me in the first couple of weeks that I was watching her play and teaching her. I think her self belief was the standout feature.
Okay, any anecdotes or any memories, fond memories from that time, specific memories, if you really want to remember, that told you, yeah, she can go a long way or something on those lines. It could be even during practice sessions. Yeah.
She had an advantage in terms of getting very good players to hit. In my academy, there are a lot of boys who are pretty good, who can who are much better than her. So she was always pitted against the better players to play with. Once we found that she had the potential to go far, because initially when she did start playing the junior circuit, she did well as a young kid. As young as 12, she was able to do well in the higher age group. So that's when we felt, okay, there's something different about this kid, and we started giving her the opportunity to play with much better players at a very young age. And I think that kind of stood out for her, or was good for her, to enable her to play against much higher ranked players and girls who are much more older to her. Um, she's very intense on court, doesn't like to lose, but at the same time, she's a very fun kid off the court. She's very chatty when she's off the court. I wouldn't say I have any specific memories of her, but it's been a very nice and pleasant experience over the past 5 years.
Just trying to delve deeper, that's all. Any specific match or maybe during training session, during practice session, if you want to remember, of course, no real force if you really don't want to share or you don't remember.
Matches, I traveled her a couple of times. I went with her to Valencia um, when we were looking out for academies for her to train with where she would be comfortable. So I spent about 2 weeks there with her. I was with her during the women's nationals in Delhi recently, where she lost in the finals, and then subsequently I did 2 weeks with her to Pune and Mumbai. Um, um, it's been a good experience overall because every time she's exceeded my expectations. I put it that way. I would think that maybe she can't really get up to that level to play, but she did surprise me, and that's been really great for me. I mean, I think sometimes I feel whether I'm underestimating her potential and talent. And one thing is, I think she just loves to eat all the time. Every 1 hour, half an hour, she's
Okay.
always hungry.
Okay. Obviously, she has won J60 titles, J100
Yeah.
titles as well. She reached the final of the national championships, I guess, in the around last year. So, can you say, in your own words, about her performance through her formative years or through the junior ranks, even qualified for the Australian Open junior? So, a little more about her professional career so far.
Yeah, I think the first big opportunity came when she was picked to play the under
Mm,
14 Australian
mm,
Open, I think about 2 years back.
mm,
And I think she did reasonably well there, though she didn't make it to the finals there. And then slowly she started winning the J30s and J60s
mm,
pretty
mm,
comfortably. It was not much of a
mm,
challenge for her. And
mm,
that's when I pushed her into saying that you need to get yourself challenged
mm,
more, start playing the J100s or probably the J200s,
mm,
J300s. And she did that. And I guess in the initial part of last year, I think she didn't do that well. I mean, the competition was good, tough. But then she quickly realized that she needed to do so much more better. And winning the J300 in New Delhi itself was a vindication of her self belief that she can compete at that level. And it's good to see what she has done so far.
okay. A little more about obviously she's training at the Rafael Nadal Academy now. So little more about the training at that particular academy. Obviously, it's run by a famous player, but little more about the training at that particular academy, the facilities or the coaches there, or how she's
Uh,
progressed.
I will. I haven't been to the academy. I haven't
Yeah, yeah.
visited
But if
the
you know a
academy
little
outside.
bit,
Whatever, whatever I'm telling you is what I hear from her.
mm,
And
mm,
we did, like I said earlier, we did go to a couple.
mm,
She did train at a different place in
mm,
Valencia for about 2 months. She liked it there.
mm,
But then the offer, when it came from Rafael Nadal's Academy that they would
mm,
sponsor her, even then, I would not say we immediately took a decision to go by it. I told her to go and play there for some
mm,
time and then see whether she is very comfortable there
okay.
because I think that's what really matters for her. She's someone who can work well only if
Mm,
she's comfortable with the people
mm,
around her. She's very clear about that.
mm,
And I think she spent I think, couple of weeks there in Mallorca, and
mm,
she kind of liked the physical training program that they have there. She said it's very highly coordinated in terms of you know she plays a session. By the time she goes into physical training, the trainer there already knows what has been done on a tennis court, and even otherwise, if she does a training program initially and goes to the tennis courts, the coaches are already aware of how much she has been pushed into in the previous training session. So
mm,
that way, she said it is a good mix of um, what do you say, exercise, training, and playing tennis. And also, she's been put into a group where there are a lot of very good, promising youngsters. So
mm,
it's like, I think, a good place to be in, highly competitive place. At the same time,
mm.
you get the best of facilities. She said the facilities there are just fantastic.
Little more about her game. Based on whatever I've seen, she has a very strong baseline game. She seems to have very much deep returns. So, if she has to improve on something in terms of maybe serving or anything else that she has to improve further.
Well, her game is basically based on a very aggressive style. She's extremely explosive from the baseline. She can really
Mm,
pack a punch from on both sides, on both
mm,
the forehands and the
mm,
backhands. Her serving speed has improved, but her consistency needs to get much better.
mm,
She definitely can work in all areas of her game. It's just
mm,
not that you don't need to focus on one particular aspect of her tennis. She can definitely work on her net game. She can
mm,
work on her volleys, her single and slice
mm,
because it adds variety to her game. And also, I also feel that she needs to work on her defense also well.
mm,
Transitioning from defensive positions into offensive
mm.
positions. That's something I think she needs a lot of
Yes.
work on.
Maybe it is a connecting point to what you just said. She was talking about how she struggled a little bit against teach man's heavy hitting in terms of how she was trying to mix it with the heavy hitting, and also this maybe she was coming to the net, changing things. So maybe that was a connecting point to it.
Yeah, against Tishman, yes, definitely. You could see that Oppen was at least one notch above her in terms of playing levels itself, and highly experienced opponent. She's been,
Yes.
I think, probably highest ranking or something like maybe 21 in the world. So it did show the experience, and also uh, the level did show, the difference did show. But then it was a fantastic experience for her because she knows. I mean, you want to challenge the very best. You need to work so much more harder. You need to get so much more better in all aspects of your game. Because the difference was, I felt, whenever Maya could hit one or two great ground strokes, I mean, the ball would come back literally at the same speed and the same length. But Maya couldn't do the same thing when Jill was coming up with a good stroke. She couldn't really defend that well against her. So I think that was the difference, and also the experience part of it counted a lot in the outcome of the match.
Just a couple more questions, sir. Can you say a little
Yeah.
bit about her future plans? Obviously, she would likely look to participate in the junior slam. So, a couple more things about her future.
Well, for this year, I think her entry into the next three Grand Slams are more or less assured. I think because I think her ranking is somewhere in the 50, so she'll
That's
definitely
58.
get entry into it.
Mm.
And I mean, our basic plan is to focus more on playing the women's circuit, try to establish yourself in the women's WTA tour, transition from the juniors into the women's. That's what we are looking to do this year.
Mm.
Of course, there is a limitation on the number of tournaments that she can play because she is just 15.
Mm.
So basically, we're looking. The objective is for her to develop a very good all-round game style, so that once she's 16 or 17, then she's ready to hit the women's circuit. So that's what we're basically looking at. And of course, she'll be training at Rafa's academy for the entire year. And at the end of it, we can definitely sit down and see how she has progressed, and then set goals according
Okay.
to that.
It's obviously it is very tough to predict the future, but she's very promising. So, in your views, in your viewpoint, how far can she go? I mean, in terms of her potential.
See, the potential is always there.
Yes.
I would say I'm not talking
Mm.
from the point of view that I've been a coach or whatever, but when I took her to Valencia and met the coaches there, I think his name is Pancho Alverino. He's been, I think, the Fed Cup coach for the Spanish team. He's produced innumerable number of players. So
Mm.
I kind of asked him. I think he saw her. He was there with her for about 2 months, and then I had a telephonic conversation with him. So at that time, I asked him, "What do you think about this girl?" He frankly said, um, "As of now, I can definitely see her as a top 10 junior if she can progress at this rate. At the moment, definitely she'll be. This is the rate of progress that she shows. She'll definitely be a top 10 junior in the world for sure." And then after that, there are a lot of other things which really come into play, and will decide on where she ends up. But I think the potential for her is huge.
Mm.
I definitely see a lot of potential for her to be the next big tennis player out of India.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking your time out. It is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for sharing your views.
Thank you, sir. Good day.